The object of the game is to uncover the map without clicking on any play. The object of the game is to uncover the map without clicking on any mines. Open a new game, then left-click randomly until you uncover some space and information to work with. If you click on a mine, you lose the game. Click on the smiley face to start a new game. A numbered square indicates how many mines are adjacent to that square, either above, below, right, left, or diagonally. Spaces not adjacent to mines are blank, showing no number. The lowest number is 1 and the highest is 8. Right-click to flag a spot you know where a mine is. Right-click on a flag to clear the mark. You will be unable to accidentally left-click a marked square. If you perform a right and left click simultaneously on a number that has the corresponding number of flags adjacent to it, it will open all the squares surrounding that number that don't have flags. You can also left-click on the number to accomplish this. Using reason and deduction, use the known information from the revealed numbers to figure out where the mines are located. Once all the mines have been properly marked and the rest of the board cleared, you win.
Minesweeper is a fun single.
When you see a 1-3-1 pattern in a corner, the only tile that touches the 3 but not the 1s is a mine. And the 2 tiles that only touch the 1s but not the 3 are safe to open. Now you can open up a lot more tiles. When you see a 1 When you see a 1-2-1 pattern on a wall, each tile sharing a side with one of the 1s is a mine. And the remaining tiles that are touching the pattern are safe to open. Now you can open up a lot more tiles. When you see a 1-2-1 pattern on a wall, each tile sharing a side with one of the 1s is a mine. And the remaining tiles that are touching the pattern are safe to open.
We could go ban for ban.
Fuck that, we can go M for M.
Quarter mil for the Maybach truck.
When you see a 2 and a 1 together like this on a wall, the furthest tile from the one that the 2 is touching must be a mine. And the furthest tile from the 2 that the 1 is touching must be safe. Now you can open up a lot more tiles. When you see a 1-3-1 pattern in a corner, the only tile that touches the 3 but not the 1s is a mine.
First things first.
And the 2 tiles that only touch the 1s but not the 3
Hello, welcome to my guide, how to get started and how to get good at playing the game Minesweeper. Real quickly, why should you trust me to tell you how to get good? I do currently hold a world record for speedrunning Minesweeper, and I am one of the top 10 Minesweeper speedrunners in the UK. First things first, let's get into how the game actually works. So you're given this board of squares or cells, which you can click on to uncover what is underneath. Each cell contains one of 3 things: a mine, in the UK, an empty space, or a number. First, let's get into how your goal is to clear all of the cells which don't contain a mine. Click a mine, you blow up, and the game is lost. The top left number represents how many unmarked mines there are, the top right number represents the timer, and the smiley face is what you click on to start a new game. So, besides the mines, the cells can either contain an empty cell or a number, the numbers being the more important ones of the two. Each number represents how many mines there are next to that specific cell. So, for Before we get any further, I'm going to introduce you to something. First things first, let's get into how the game actually works. So you're given this board of squares or cells, which you can click on to uncover what is underneath. Each cell contains one of three things: a mine, an empty space, or a number. Your goal is to clear all of the cells which don't contain a mine. Click a mine, you blow up, and the game is lost. The top left number represents how many unmarked mines there are, the top right number represents the timer, and the smiley face is what you click on to start a new game. So, besides the mines, the cells can either contain an empty cell or a number, the numbers being the more important ones of the two. Each number represents how many mines there are next to that specific cell. So, for example, this number 1 here means that there is 1 mine in these 8 surrounding cells. Using the information that this gives you, you can work out where the mines are so you can avoid them and click on all of the safe ones to win the game. The empty cells are basically saying there are no mines around it at all, so the game will uncover the ones around it for you. Not something that you need to worry about too much, but if you get gifted a clearing, that's where they're coming from. Okay, now we know how stuff works. The clearing, that's where they're coming from. Worry about too much, but if you get gifted a clearing, that's where they're coming from. Okay, now we know how stuff works, let's have a go at playing a game. Starting off the game, the first click that you take will always be safe. Depending on which version of the game you are using, this first click might always come with a small opening. If it does, that's great. If it doesn't, your best bet to find an opening of your own is to start in one of the corners. For this game, I will be starting in the top left corner, and as you can see, I am not using a version which gives me an opening every time, so I'm going to try the next corner, and there we go, we have something to work with. So now you can see that a bunch of numbers have been revealed. At first glance you might be thinking, okay, so what do I do with this, and where do I start working out where the mines are? The easiest places to look are the numbers which are only connected to the uncleared cells by just the corner. For example, looking at this 1 here, it's only attached to this one by the corner. This 1 means that there is 1 mine around this number, and since this is the only cell which isn't already clear, we know that the only option is for the mine to be in here. Once we know that, we can right click on the cell to flag the mine. Right clicking it again removes the flag if you ever do change your mind. Here's another one. A 1 just connected by the corner, which means that the only possible option is for the mine to be here. And this leads me to my favourite buzzword to start off with, the corner ones. Whenever you need a place to start looking, finding the ones that are attached by just the corners like this are always the easy targets, and they normally help you find the first few mines to help you get going with the rest of the game. Now that we have found some mines and marked them, we can start to use this information with the other numbers. Have a look at this 1 next to this part that we just did. Since there's a flag next to it, we know that this is where the mine is, and there's only 1 mine around this one, which is here, so all of the others around it have to be free, so we can clear them. So all of the others around it have to be free, so we can clear them. Before we get any further, I'm going to introduce you to something very important, how you should be clearing the cells. Cording. The secret technique to getting good at Minesweeper, which a lot of people don't realize exists. Let's take the example of what we had just now. We had the number 1, and we had our flag next to it to show us where the mine is, so we were free to clear all of these 4. However, when you have flagged the correct number of mines around a number, say 1 flag around a 1, or 2 flags around a 2, you have told the game that you have that number sorted, and that all of the other cells around it are safe. So if you left and right click at the same time on the number, the game will clear all of the non-flagged cells for you. If you do get the mines wrong, so you have the wrong number of flags around a number, instead of this leading to you clicking on a mine and losing the game, your cord simply wouldn't work, and you can have another try at working out what's going on. If you have the right number of flags just in the wrong place, you will still lose by cording off this number, but it does give you some level of safety net. Another benefit of cording is the freedom you have to check if a number is finished or not. So instead of double checking that a number has enough flags around it to go forward, you can simply chord off it and see if it works or not. If you ever have flags and don't see how to use them properly, you can literally go around the edges, chording them all to see what happens. Although that can work surprisingly well, I would recommend being aware of why your chords are working. So for the future, not getting into too much of a habit of going into a blind clicking spree and seeing if it works or not. It does help in the long run to have a good understanding of why your chords are working. One thing you might have noticed while I was doing this is that even when the numbers aren't complete, when they don't have the right number of flags around them, it still presses down the cells surrounding the number. This can be quite a useful testing tool to see exactly which cells the number is relating to. Sometimes giving yourself this more visual perspective can be very useful to clear up what you should be thinking about. For example, clicking on this 1 here shows that these are the cells that this 1 is referring to. With this new trick up our sleeve, let's keep going with our game. We can see that we have uncovered a new corner 1. See this 1 at the corner here, meaning that this 1 is a mine and we can flag it. Now we have a 1 next to a flag, which means that it's finished and we can chord off it, which clears all of the other cells around it. Again, now there's a new 1 still next to that flag, so we can chord off this 1 as well. With our most recent flag, this 2, so we can chord it. Again, now there's a new 1 still next to that flag, so we can chord off this 1 as well. With our most recent flag, this 2 now has 2 flags next to it, which lets us chord off it as well. And of course, the one above it. Here's another corner 1 that we can flag, and now we've done that, we can look around next to the flag we have just placed. So, more 1s next to the flag lets us chord off those as well. Now at this point, it might look like we have run out of tricks a little, but you might have noticed that the corner strategy doesn't just work with 1s. As a general rule, finding the numbers with the least amount of options are going to be the easiest ones to work out. So, even though this 1 is a 2, it is still only connected to just 2 uncleared cells, which means that both of them have to be flags. Now we can chord off this 2 because there's 2 flags, and then this 1 connected to this flag. Again, over here, there's this 2 off to the corner with only 2 options for the mines to be in, so the mine has to be here. With these new flags, we can start to chord off the 1s next to it, for this 1, this 1, this 1, and this for this with the 2 options. Again, over here, there's this 2 off to the corner with only 2 options for the mines to be in, so the mine has to be here, and this next to it, so we can click this 1, this 1, and this 1. Then, moving over here, this 1 has a flag next to it, so we can click this. Here's another example of a 2 with only 2 places for the mines to go into. So we can flag this, chord off this, chord off this. Now, this is where the few tricks so far do run out. Nothing to chord off and no easy corners for us. However, Minesweeper is a game based on logic, so even without all of these tricks, you are able to work things out by thinking about them properly. So, finding the numbers with the fewest options, just like before, let's start at this left edge, since this 1 is slightly more limited. We want to see how this 1 works together with this 1 next to it, to see what it tells us. This is where we can use chording in the other way, to help give us a more clear idea of what we're looking at. So, this 1 is relating to these 2 cells, and this 1 is relating to these 3 cells. 1 in those 2, 1 in these 3. Notice how the first 2 cells are shared by both of the 1s. From the first one, we know that there must be a mine in one of these 2 cells. If it's in either of those 2, it would also leave the second one complete as well. This means that the third cell along must not have a mine in, and we can clear it. If you ever need help visualizing logic, you can play around placing flags to see how things would work. For example, if there was a flag here, there would still need to be another flag for this 1. So it doesn't work, and we can see how this this third cell has to be free. Now, this leaves us with this 2 here, with only 2 cells around it, meaning no, it doesn't. If there was a flag here, there would still need to be another flag for this 1. So, it doesn't work. This leaves us with this 2 here, with only 2 cells around it, meaning that they both must be mines. So with these flags placed, this second 2 is now finished, so we can call off it. And with just one more click, we have won the game and beaten our first game of Minesweeper.